This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Hello, big one, welcome. Bar Stewards Enquiry weekend podcast. Yes, it's Friday, that time again when we go through the weekend's fare. And this weekend it is Sun Chariot Redcar 2-year-old trophy, the lowest field size ever. And we have another card at Ascot, the Chariots of Fire track that seems to be a kip in terms of racing line. And today it appeared to be standside. And joining me to go through all the television action and best bets round, it's John Ling and Jack Veach. Good evening, chaps.
Evening, both.
Evening, everyone.
Right, without further ado then, let's get on to best bets round because it's time to pick those winners. I'm happy with mine this week, happier than I normally am, which is, I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign with the form I'm in. So let's see where we go. But Jack, I'm intrigued to what your third best is, so you can kick us off, please.
Yeah, like yourself, Lee, fairly confident with my three today. So we're off to John's Local in the flagship race of the day, the 2-year-old trophy, to kick things off. I'm against the Fav here, and look, I think he's a very good horse. I don't think he's done a lot wrong at all. You know, winner of 3 or 4 starts, decent second last time out in the big sales race at Donny. Obviously, as John's pointed out earlier in the week, very disappointing field here. We're used to, 18 to 20 runners here. We've only got the 10 with Killian coming out today. And that might negate the usual need to be on the lower side of the draw, and in which case potentially helps the Fav. But I'm going to go against him, and I'm going with the Sausage Fingers owned Andrew Balding trained Works of Art here. Now she's a little bit wrong at the weights due to the way they calculate them on the sales basis. But I've been really happy with her 3 starts so far. I think showed a bit of promise on debut at Kempton, followed up course and distance with a win next time out. And I thought that third in the Fillies conditions race at Chester was a really promising run behind 2 nice types in Great Generation who came second in the Group 3 at Ayr next time out. And then Jabara, who only finished 3 lengths back in the Cheveley last week. So that form reads pretty well to me. And I look at the field here aside from the Fav, and you're looking at pretty, I think we know what we're going to get from the likes of Flaccinello, Action Point, etc. Drawn well in 3. I think this filly's got plenty of upside. She's well related to Tactical, half sibling, who was a decent juvenile and 3-year-old. So I think we're going to see an improved performance tomorrow with Thick Dave in the saddle. I'm going to go each way just on the basis the Fav might just get across and beat it, but it's a big enough price to make that interesting.
Interesting. 22-1 for Sausage Fingers and Thick Dave for you. But is it a plus or a minus, John?
I'm just wondering whether Sausage Fingers will turn up. I mean, it won't be every day has the chance to make Thick Dave, will it?
No, not at all. It's certainly interesting jockey, but I can't think of any other occasion where Thick Dave rode for the Royals. Would this be a first?
I think it could be, yeah.
I'll have to check that out, but I'm not sure. But good start, Jack. Nice taking on short price Favs. We'll come on to that race in more detail later on, but 22s for you with Paddy's and Betfair each way 3 pegs. Let's hope Thick Dave can row it into a place at the very least for you. Jonas.
I'm also at the Lurkle for my third best. This is in the 4:30, and I'm going with the filly Belhaven. Now, this one bombed out last time, but there's excuses. For a start, she was patently outclassed shouting for the Mountain enlisted race at Yarmouth, but also she'd acquitted herself quite well in races a class above what most of these have been running in, including at Chester 4 days before the bomb out at Yarmouth. And I think the Chester run had probably encouraged him enough to have a pop at the Yarmouth race for a wee bit of black type. So I'm happy to put a line through the Yarmouth run and take the Chester run at face value. And for me, I think she's peaking at the right time for this. Any worsening of the ground won't be an issue either. She's got very good back form on soft. And the icing on the cake is the 1 box.
Mm.
1 point win.
Yeah, 9-1 with Denise. We'll see what price that settles at with the rest. In fact, hang on, we've got a second firm open up. I think Paddy's and Betfair have just opened up. Oh, 11's John with Paddy's and Betfair.
There we go then.
So even better for your 1 point on the nose, Bellhaven. And like John has pointed out there, in a big field at the Lurkle, stall one could certainly, that's where it might play favourable to low numbers, given the field size. Jack made a good point about there only being 10 in the 2-year-old trophy, which may not be as worrying for the Fav if you're worried about a wider draw. Although I'm not sure that the low draws have played out as much recently. I think they've managed to get rid of the bias, John. Do you think?
I wouldn't like to bet my life on it, to be honest. It's always there lurking, I think. Lurking
Well,
at the Lurkle.
lurking at the Lurkle next to the graveyard. Yes.
Like a sex offender outside.
Indeed.
Outside of a dodgy pub.
Yeah, some dodgy cunts up there. Right, 335 at Ascot, the big 7 furlong event. And before the prices all go, which they will by the time you listen to this, fresh, yes, in the big heritage handicap there. 6-1, 13-2 if you're lucky with Denise, but this will be a short price favourite come the off, given on what we've seen today. Rohan just winning the latter race at Ascot today, running on the stands rail all the way. And I just think that's the place to be. It looks good today. There's no reason why it wouldn't look good tomorrow. And I think that 6-1 won't be there. It'll probably go off 7-2 with a heavily bet Fav. There's nothing not to like about it. He's been shaping well all season, like he's in great form, and he's £11 better off with Baradar for that Royal Ascot 7 furlong run when Fresh was caught on the wrong side of the track. Everything won high draws, he was low. So Fresh, I think, will definitely reverse the form on better ground. Well, this ground today, I think, will suit Fresh. I think Baradar wants it more deeper to be, at his very, very best. I think he likes a bit of dig in the ground. So I'm going with Fresh. Kick us off 1 point at 6-1. It's the most boring of the three, but it's probably the most sensible of the three.
That's one way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think you're doing any harm back in that. People say, big field. There's only 18 runners. Sometimes, like this handicap, John, you could have like 30 runners in this, couldn't you? 18 for an heritage. It seems very low to me.
Haven't they swung the bend out wide into the straight, though?
Oh, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, I forgot to do that.
Playing around with it for the Champions
the
Day.
bend feeding into the straight mile, isn't it?
Yeah, they saved the ground, don't they, for Champions Weekend? So yeah, so that's probably why. Then yeah, it's not.
I don't know why they bother, because they're probably on the jumps course anyway.
The jumps course, that's for the corporates now, isn't it? At the Royal Meeting, that's where the old quaff champers of night middle in these tents.
Yeah, but I say they'll probably all be on. All races will be on jumps course anyway in Champions Day, because it pissed down for a fortnight beforehand, wasn't it?
Is there any wonder, though, right, that they have trouble with jumps racing at Ascot? Everyone moaned about the ground there last year, including Popeye. He was the most.
Yeah.
They don't look after it during summer. It just literally it goes brown because you just stick all corporates on it, and they don't do enough work on it during summer. Just to keep it sort of like proper turf, if you like.
Don't keep it alive, do they?
Yeah, let it die. Probably always done that, but like trainers just moan now. So I don't know. There we go. Who's going to kick us off round 2? John, coming to you.
My 2 points bet is in the 355 at Redcar. And it looks like we're looking towards Thick Dave having a good day, because I'm tipping the 14 now. I was fancying Owl a bit for this, but then on closer examination, rather like you examine a worrying mole on your inner thigh, I thought he might just tee it up for this lad, who tends to sit handy, while Arwell tends to be headstrong and kind of likes an uncontested lead. Now, Johan was very frail last time at Goodwood, so Little Miss Concrete Hands wouldn't have been my choice to ride him either. And she's getting a leg up here as well. So he could be fizzy enough after 2 months off. Guido likes to be on it, like a car bonnet. So there could be 3 or 4 having a bit of a burn up on the front end. Now, Thick Dave knows this course better than he knows Sandburn Golf Course, and he'll surely make for the quicker ground and sit just off these. And I think he'll be best placed to pick up the bits. 2 points win, folks.
2 points win there for Roger Hargreaves on Vafortina at 9-2 with Bet365. Star Sports, they've gone 9-2. Vafortina, so 9-2, 5-1 wheels if you're lucky enough to have a Billy Mountain account. But just thinking about that, John Jack, Mr. Men and Little Miss characters, we should do a show on this. Like Little Miss Concrete Hands.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
for Megan, you could have like Little Miss Posh or Little, we should come up with names for trainers, what they'd be.
Little Miss badly let down by connections.
Need to be careful after our recent track record, don't we?
Oh yeah. Keep getting our colour felt, Mr.
Irate Administrator.
Mr. Application of Cash. That'd be a good one.
He's always in form, isn't he?
We should write Little Mr. Men story and make a fortune in racing circles because then you're not libeling anyone, are you? You're basically just you know what you're talking about.
Well, the readers would know what you mean as well. That's the beauty of it, wouldn't it?
That's the way forward. We should do all future sermons in Mr. Men speak.
Mr. Pissed as a cricket when he goes racing the saddle one.
What about Mr. Shagger?
Mr. Shaggy with a pulse.
Could apply to a few.
That actually in racing, it'd be like
I think we've cracked it here. How not to get any snotty letters.
Hey, this is it. This is how we make money. If you think about it, look at Darren Birdie, how he creates caricatures of horses and jockeys. Yeah, all sorts. And look at us. We could be like the new authors of racing, Mr. Men characters. Fantastic idea. This is we should do this. Imagine sales, John. You might get 1,000 sales at a $5 each for each book you release.
With a joke. We've got more than 1,000 listeners, haven't we? So I mean,
we have, yeah.
Even through sharing the book,
Yeah, 3,000 on a Sunday and about half that on a Friday if we're lucky. So it's not too bad. Anyway, I'm waffling. The next 2-pointer run for me after John's Vafortina at 9-2 goes in the other sales race at HQ. That's in the 205 race there. Yeah, and the price is under pressure, which has annoyed me, but this is what you get these days. You can rarely get a decent price. But I'm going to give myself 11-1 with Entain, 1 point each way, Midnight Runner, and I'm going to take the 3 places instead of the 4. I don't think I'll need 4. This is a very good horse. It's as raw as you like. It's been pulling like Callum Best in a field of virgins. This horse really...
You mean Mr. Masturbator? You don't mean that one.
Mr. Son of a Drunk.
Yeah, Russell Brand in a field of virgins. Right, so that's a better one. So the 11-1, you'll probably not get that, but 10s is good. Listen, this horse I think will go really well, and there's a reason here. Zulu Chief was fantastic at York. Absolute speedball. The wind's behind at Newmarket tomorrow. What's not to like at even money? There'll be a lot playing that as a banker. What I would say is they will go like lickety split here, and I think that plays into the hands of the keen Midnight Runner. Dropping in trip, Sean Levy, good jockey, be able to settle him. Like I think better over this 6 because they'll go like shit off a shovel, and that could get Zulu Chief beat because Gina Mangan won't be a judge of pace, so it's like something will go hell for leather with her. Then that sets it up lovely for the Dodge Runner, who literally at this stage could be anything. So it's quite a confident bet this, and like I said, I'll nick the 11-1 with Entain, 1 point each way. 3 places, not the 4. Jack.
3:35 Ascot, Lee, and we have a klaxon.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. Very much with fresh. It might be a boring selection, but it's not boring if they win. So I
exactly
completely echo your case. Anyone watching today knows that high draws are going to play hot. That rail is where you want to be. Fantastic course form, off his lowest mark for quite some time. There's not much not to like, and yeah, you can just see this one going off a very well backed favourite tomorrow once everyone wakes up. So yeah, very confident 2-point win on Fresh.
Yeah, and like you said, the thing is, it's like today, people might have quaffed a bit at price of Rohan and gone, and I tell you what, me included.
I did. I left it.
Yeah, you made the case for it to me last night, and obviously, and yes, absolutely, and you were correct. But I think that's it. We probably sometimes too much overcomplicate things in terms of we try and judge a price, but when the rail playing as hot as that today, that was probably still a play, even at the off. I know that's like a Chris Pull trumpet in after timing, but it's true. You know, what more do you want for 6-1? Your money one in. So basically, you're saying it's a 1 in 7 chance with the absolute plum draw, and there's even like sort of enough pace that side. So yeah, there's nothing not to like really. I mean, it was backing Quinault in 1. Difficult to back that now, isn't it? In that draw, totally. I'm glad you sided with me on that, but it's a
Quinault in 1 ought to ensure that you get a run up the fence because he'll drag a few of them off the fence.
You think so? You think so? Because he'll go like the clappers, won't he? So
I think that's a plus myself for Fresh.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Good point, John. Yeah, we'll come on to that race in more detail in a bit. Okay, that finishes the 2-point round. This is the best bet round now. Get your Trixies and Patents ready, folks. I'm going to make it more complicated. I'll kick us off here with a split stake wanker bet. Goes in the 1:30 at Newmarket, the Fillies race. Very keen to support 2 horses here. The first is the Roger Vegetables train, Red Danielle, who for once in his life has decided not to ruin a Filly's mark by going listed class after just 2 or 3 runs, where everyone gets frustrated with some nice fillies of his. Nothing not to like about this is the chaps. Second to a very, very nice horse of Johnny Gosden's, Sweet Memories, was it? Bolted up last time, obviously was going to. And look at what it ran into on debut. Second to that one of Haggis's that won again at the weekend, and that's now rated like mid-90s. Royal Miller. Right, so this is solid form. How on earth is that 7-1 with Ladbrokes, Hills, and Coral? That's mental, Ben. That can't be 7s. 2 points win on that. I do like Whispering Words. I'm not the fact, but it is for me. It is the price. You know, I think we've got to be realistic on price. So I'm not dissing Whispering Words. That's a filly I like as well, but we're talking price here. The second one, which John will definitely dislike before, is the Charlie Hills trained Lady Alara. And I can't have the 16s with Denise, to fairness in football prices. So I will take the second best price on offer, which is it was fucking 14s. That's gone. I'm have to do with 12.
You can have the 16s now, Lee. Take it.
12-1 generally available. I'll have to make do with that for a 1 point win on this one. So that's the split stake, 2 and a 1. Right, Lady Alara, the case chart. I think you'll like this case though. Right, I know like straight away John doesn't like Charlie Hills, especially at this time of year. Has Charlie Hills been a complete idiot here, John? Right. Yeah. I knew that too. Right. Well, look at this, right? It's Invincible Spirit out of a Galileo mare, Red Halo. Yeah, right? So
he's overlooked the fact that he's got a bit of stamina there.
Oh, plenty. Haunted Dream, Redician, Venezia, they all won over like sort of 10 furlong plus. And he's kept the horse at like 7 furlongs a mile. And you watch the last run, how it keeps on behind Shining Jewel. Really, it doesn't like stay on strong. It plugs on and keeps going, and you know for a fact it's gonna do better over further. And I just think he's got the trip badly wrong for her. I mean, the fact is, look, he set her off at 6, so she has the speed to win at 6, probably the class on debut more than anything else. But he keeps her at 7 at 2, but still 7 furlongs. Starts her off at a mile where she was on the wrong side against Coppice, the Sandringham. Then went to a listed race at Sandown where she missed the kick and got, you know, it's like around that gas pit, got messed about with. Then comes out and bolts up at Ascot in a fairly decent fillies race, and then nothing wrong with the last run because they're saying for the winner that she'll be good.
She's made out with Ascot, which takes a bit to do. I think you want stamina for 10.
Yeah.
To make her over ease.
Watch her in the Sandringham through the line. Watch it. She's absolutely flying through the line in the Sandringham. eating up the ground on the far side. So I think she's been overlooked here. I keep tipping Kevin Stott, but there we go. So yeah, so that's the sort of nicer price pair of the bet. But like I say, I do.
He's a promising young jockey. He's gone somewhat under the radar, hasn't he, Kevin Smith? Yeah. Hasn't
Yeah,
really made much of a splash yet, but I mean, I'm
no,
sure.
it's quite media shy. Never appears in
Mm,
the news, does it?
ah,
But yeah, fair play to him for that. So that kicks us off. Right, Jack, I'm coming to you for your trois points.
My trois pois, Lee, goes again at Ascot, the 3 o'clock Bengough. And I'm very much with Mick Appleby's Anaf here. Again, similar-ish case to last selection, to be fair. I mean, he's drawn in the right place, 8 of 8. Sorry, not 8 of 8, but, wide enough towards that rail. And I just think this horse has just come into the fore at the right time. I think, you look at his win record. I mean, he only broke his duck on turf last time out, but he was certainly deserved of that victory. And giving £12 to Significantly, who then won the Air Gold Cup, I thought with relative ease, to be honest with you. I mean, he was struggling to get an out, only a neck official distance, but won that with plenty in hand. So that's not bad form at all. And you look at his performances this year, he was 7th in the sprint cup at Haydock. Trouble in running there and was better value than that suggests. And his best performance on the figures is his third here over 5 on the Royal Meeting in the King's Stand. So that form in itself is certainly worthy. And I think Comanche Falls, whilst he's very good horse who's had a good season, I think he's going to struggle to give this one £3, to be honest with you. And box 1 as well would be a negative for him. He's obviously the stable first choice with Ross and Ryan continuing riding over Juan Lepan. And I just think there's a lot to like here, and I made him favourites. So at the prices at the minute, I'm happy to row him with 3 points win.
9 to 2 generally available for you, Jacko. So let's hope that does the biz. We'll come on to that race in more detail in a minute. Obviously, we're going to do the TV races now. John, you can finish us off the round of the big points. For this is the one they were all waiting for. You're the highest up in the Naps table. What's it to be?
He is Mr. Mystifyingly Overlooked, reporting in from Martin. 145 at the Curragh is a nice race. Group 3 for 2-year-old fillies. And Kitty Rose, his chance is there for all to see. She's unbeaten. She was quite impressive last time. However, I feel she's worth taking on. And the one that I have dug out, well, I haven't particularly dug her out. She sort of dug herself out when she caught my eye on debut, was Foxtrot Zulu, trained by Grr Lions. This one, as I say, took the eye on debut. She'd take the eye if you looked in the betting anyway, because she was 4-6 for a little Cork maiden. But that only tells half the tale, really. She was ridden like a good horse, and he was expecting her to make the ground up, you could tell. And she just ran in an immature fashion, really, for the last half of the race. If she'd been handy throughout, I think she'd probably have won. But it left me with the impression I'd be taking 4-7 if I wanted to back her next time, because, you think straight away, maiden next time, Jesus, everybody's saying that, Often in these situations, I'm hoping the trainer forgoes a maiden win and lap her on her and gives the horse a hike in class and running in some sort of conditions race so that I can get a bet. Well, to my absolute delight, my old mucker Gurr has stuck with the script and come for this Group 3. I think Aiden's horses look exposed enough. I think she can improve past them, as is the same with the Baby Joseph horse that won that Cork maiden. I think Snellen has had a limitations exposed in the last 2 runs as well. And I like my chances here very much. I just think the potential splinter in the ointment is the Fab, so I'm going to go 1.5 points each way.
1.5 each way at 12s. John, generally available for Foxtrot
Lovely.
Zulu. Yeah. Interesting case. I've got your notes as well in front of me that you produce on Patreon. £7 a month. Get shelling out for John's notes. They're worth it on their own. And you said, this was your words, a beautiful looking horse. Missed kick, tanked through the race, had to wait for a gap. She'll probably beat those who finished in front of her in future.
Well, we'll see tomorrow, won't we? Because the one that finished the furthest in front of her takes her on again.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I'm any good or if I'm shit.
Yeah. Well, you did say about the winner unreasonable. You said cracking attitude to overhaul the second.
Yeah, well, she'll have to ditch her cracking attitude tomorrow, otherwise she might make me look shit.
Yeah, no, good stuff. I like it. Fantastic naps, chaps. I'm really impressed with the quality of the naps today. There's, we're opposing favs, were the obvious ones anyway, and we're giving some value out. Well, let's hope it's
We're
value.
digging them out, aren't we? We're getting down and filthy, not just dirty.
Yeah, I like the show. Sometimes it's boring when we're coming up with 6-4, 7-4 shots all the time. Sometimes you can't avoid them, but I like this week, so I'm confident we're going to do it. I am. Us three will do it this week. I think we're due, and definitely. So thank you for that. We will progress on to the television previews, and we've got I think it's eight races. So that's at Newmarket. 8, Newmarket 3, Ascot 4. Why 4 there? I don't know. And 1 at the Lurkle, which they used to televise, John, the Gisborough, and they've turned that. They've shelved the Gisborough.
We're in decline at the Lurkle, really.
It's disappointing. I wanted to see the Gisborough on terrestrial.
There's some people that just go from year to year just wanting to see the Gisborough.
It's best standard of race they get usually, because the 2-year-old trophy, although that's the touted race, you might get some at 90 winning that. It's Gisborough, it's like 110 horses in there.
Yeah.
There you go. Who do you think? Do you think they'll send anyone up to Redcar tomorrow, John?
Well, is she back off her holidays?
Yeah, she's working on ITV tomorrow, is Leona.
She'll be there then, won't she? Bless her.
Yeah.
Holding the fort.
I don't know what I think she's doing opening show and afternoon.
Opening show from Redcar, they might make Chapman blast up there in his orange beamer.
I know, you have to laugh, don't you? Like, he's known as the Orange Man. So, like, I don't know. The last thing I imagined he'd get, it is Sir Chapman, but he's an orange beamer. It matches his skin, I suppose. I mean,
I know. I didn't think there was anybody there in it when it came up.
Indeed.
I'm glad it's one of them radio control jobs.
It's the type of car you drive when if you can afford it, when you're sort of like about 23.
He thinks he's 23, doesn't he, really?
I think he does, yeah. I think he still does, yeah.
It was pretty low slung. He struggled to get out of it.
Yeah, he did. Well, you do when you get older. I mean, it's like I used to have Porsches. There's no way I could get in and out of a Porsche now, given my size. I'd
have to crawl in head first, I think.
Yeah, and think about Porsches. They're terribly uncomfy. I don't care what anyone says. You're low to the ground. The roads are fucking terrible, and so you bouncing over a fucking another pothole. I much prefer like settees on wheels these days. You can't beat a big settee. Jack, do you drive?
No, I don't actually. Never.
If you did, right,
yeah.
what would you drive?
It's a good question actually. I'd like a nice old school Jag estate or something with some leather seats, fag out the window, that kind of vibe.
Right, you one of them, yeah, right, I get it, yeah.
Travelling comfort.
Ah, interesting. John, right, so what would you have, right, what if you could have a really top end car now that you thought, right, I'm going to splash the cash on the top end car, what would it be?
I'd have my old Austin Princess back.
What colour was that again?
Bright green, Kermit green.
The one thing, the common sense behind that would no fucker would nick it, would they?
No, and you could pick it out in a racecourse car park with ease.
Yeah.
And it was by far the comfiest car I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was just like sitting. It was like sitting on a squishy lady.
Yeah. I tell you what, I owned an Austin Ambassador. That was new version at Princess, weren't it? Yeah. I drove an Austin Ambassador. That was my second ever car. I've had some bad ones. Ford Escort. Did they still make Ford Escorts?
No, the Focus replaced them, didn't they?
Yeah, Ford Escort. And
my first car was a Ford Escort, Mark 1 1100. Oh, terrible.
Yeah, proper awful cars back
You
then.
used to get the shakes at 45 mile an hour.
I'll tell you what, my mother had a Beetle, and they were. I mean, I've never honestly, fucking Jesus Christ, they were
An
terrible
engine
cars.
in the back then, weren't they?
Yeah, they made a rate row. You know, you put it's like be no good now. You know, if like you're on phone to someone, you couldn't hear any cunt when you drove
No.
that. Man, that'd be good if you're playing golf with Stocker, but you know, and
Oh,
you're having to give him a lift. But anyway.
it was terrible on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, how did your golf go on Wednesday? We're good.
Well, they were going well enough up until the 10th hole when they had an almighty bust up. You see, my partner didn't turn up, so they took me up and they were beating me. There were 3 up after 10. And then there was a disagreement over the scores. And then I couldn't get a word in. Them two just tore into each other. And the row ended with Stocko saying, "You talk to me like that again, you bald cunt, you can walk home."
You just sat quiet and let them beat
I
themselves,
couldn't, I
John.
couldn't get a word in, yeah. And then they were at Dagger's Drawn all afternoon. There was no conversation whatsoever, and they imploded.
Yeah.
So I sneaked up the inside for the sly win.
Wow, I thought you'd have made more of that and told me, but you didn't. I was waiting to find out. I mean, for anyone that hadn't listened before, the Ginger Riddler is we should get him on again at some point, just to show you how dreadful he is.
Pretty man went jump racing on. He didn't like jump racing.
He is truly dreadful. Anyway, onto the 2-year-old trophy. That is shockingly low on numbers. Why? We could touch this on Sunday, but I'll ask Jack. Why do you think this is so low, Jack, on numbers?
I've no idea really, Lee. I mean, I think you've obviously got the big sales race at HQ to those lot just want to be lazy and go down there instead. But as John said earlier in the week, you can't fault the course. I mean, they've got 85k the winner here. You know, they've done all they can. It's dangerously low, isn't it?
But John, they've always had other sales race on the same day, haven't they?
Yeah.
So this is odd. Like we can right. Right. Do you think this? Are we selling too many horses?
Well, that's what you think, isn't it? Too many of them are gone, so
gone King Kong.
Yeah.
I wonder how many, because this is an early closer, and it just makes me wonder just how many of the early entries have actually gone by now.
Mm.
You know, and are not in the yards anymore. Because this is as bad as it would get for this race.
Right, coming on to this preview finally, Jack has took on the favourite works of art. The Zoffany Filly, trained by Andrew Balding and ridden by Thick Dave, and makes a good case. I'm of the opinion that Dragon Leader isn't value, but is going to win because it's just going to win because it's miles best at the weights. It's probably a stone clear on numbers that I've got, and at the weights, and that's the only reason. I'd probably say Action Point maybe will go well for Little Miss Concrete Hands.
I hope it goes really well for sweating on it for an each-way patent.
Well, there you go. Well, yeah, I do think that can go well. I think I don't get. Personally, if Dragon Leader wasn't in the race and they scratched it, I'd be saying, why is Flacinello half the price of Action Point?
Yeah.
Because if you do a simple weight calculation, there's £1 between them in terms. So that's fuck all, isn't it? Pounds a bucket. It's a small shit. You look at the form of Action Point. You know, it's all Group 3, Jim Crack.
Yeah.
You know, and the other one has been running basically in handicaps. And yes, it looks on the up a little bit. I do say that it's improving, but you know, ran fifth in the sales race to room service, which is good. Obviously behind Dragon Leader, so you know they were level weights. So I think people are putting 2 and 2 together and saying, well, 3 lengths between them on the sales race. There shouldn't be much between Flacinello and Dragon Leader now. I don't think it ever works out like that, John. To be honest,
You thought that.
I don't think it ever does. And to be honest, I always felt the draw that day did suit Flacinello quite well because the problem was, if you remember, I said there was a headwind at Doncaster, and
Yeah.
Dragon Leader led into the headwind. Flacinello got cover, the same as the winner Room Service. So I think Flacinello just might have been a tad flattered there. So action point for me. That's if I'm not going to play. I don't think, but I'd go small on action point.
Do you think there's a bit of a danger action point might get a softie as well?
Clive Cox, I don't think will lead on Dragon Leader. So if you're looking as Andy Richmond for a trade, etc., I think action point be the one because Little Miss Concrete hands will just blast off.
Well, she's not going to drop it in and risk having to hold on to it, is she?
No. So there you go. So I think action points probably a bit of value at double figures. That's what are your opinion on this, John?
Well, I'm hoping that's how it works out, to be honest.
For your patent, yeah.
That's me patent.
Good stuff. I'll cheer that on for you, and I'll cheer Jack's on also in the race itself.
Actually, Jacksaw's quite impressed me on debut. I thought it finished like an absolute rocket, and then I thought I must be with it next time, and then I missed it.
Yeah, well, he did go off at 5 to 6 next time, and that's certainly not your price. You don't play it then.
And then I did think the Chester run would probably sharpen the horse up a wee bit. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't quibble at that as a selection at all.
Jabara's no mug. I mean, Jabara only got beat 3 1/4 in the Cheveley Park.
Yeah.
And this was a head behind her. It could be good form.
I'll give you a strange one at a big price as well. Tegar of Hopalongs. This was off most of the summer and came back at York and got the not off of all not offs. And prior to that, it's third behind that thing of Ali Sainz's and Big Ebbs at Redcar. So he's got busting course form. And he's following a pattern here, Dodds, that they used to adopt in the early days of this race, where there was horses with good early season form and they used to knock them off and bring them back for it.
Right.
And this is a bit of old school training, I think, here from Hopalong. And it would not surprise me if this was knocking on the door of getting in the frame, despite the lowly rating in the 70s.
There's always one in this. I'd say nearly every year that sort of that improves massively, and who knows if that's one. There's people that listen to the show love big prices for small
Graham
stakes.
Lee anchoring it, of course.
Yeah, lovely pair of hands. It's Graham Lee. We come to Newmarket now, where we've got 3 races there, and we'll finish off at Ascot.
He'd be Mr. Never in a month of Sundays, wouldn't he?
We're going to go on Mr. Men now from now on. Yeah, it's a brilliant way, isn't it? I mean, the libel laws, basically, for any podcasters out there, are that you can slag off an organisation as much as you want, but you can't, because you can't libel done for libel on an organisation, but you can be done for libeling individuals. If you want to go all ape on a podcast, then you know what to do. Right.
If you're going after an individual, go down the Mr. Man road. You all know who you mean.
Right, booked on that, Lee.
As a group, we need to come up with some name, like between us, like sneakily. I think we ought to. It's a route we should go down. 130 is the
Miss Careerist Waffle Bag.
Little Miss Careerist Waffle Bag. Yeah, I wonder who that is. We could write a nice story on that. Come on. 130 Newmarket is the Premier Fillies Handicap, and I've already played my cards here, so I'm very intrigued because Jack will have a few opinions here, I'm sure of it. So, Jack, I'm coming to you first.
Yeah, I share your views, Lee, to be honest. I thought Red Danielle would have been my chief selection here for all the points that you made, really. I think, the form on what she's shown so far and the progression, and, like you say, mark of 90, that's usually Roger Vegetables' MO to stick her in a Group 3 and, completely waste everyone's time, isn't it? So, yeah, he gets the odd one, right? And this is one of them. I do like and respect the favourite. I see she's on the drift a little bit. She was put in, short enough, 6 to 4, 13 to 8, but now looking a bit longer than that. 9:45 to 2. Desperate last time out at Kempton, one of our
Yes.
selections, wasn't it? I was big on the day, so
Yeah.
certainly still respect the horse and think there's a lot of talent there. But no, at the prices, I think you're spot on with your Red Danielle and your Hills horse, as much as John will disagree.
Just one other one before I come on to you, John. Queen Regent in the race. She was also, we liked her as a selection last time at Salisbury on what she'd done prior to that. But at Salisbury, she was a massive drifter, a huge drifter. It was something ridiculous. She went out to, she was sort of 5 to 2 in the morning. And I think she went off 4 to 1 and she got like a 7.6 Betfair SP or something. They couldn't have her given. I'll ask you what you think on the race, John. But I thought if there's a fly in the ointment, could be that. But
I think there's 3 potential flies in the favourites ointment, shall we say.
go on.
Your selection, Red Danielle, for Mr. Can't Place His Horses in a Snowstorm.
We go all Roger Hargreaves, I love it.
We've got Lady Boba for Mr. Two Ways of Pronouncing His Christian Name. And then we've got Queen Regent for Mr. Has a Useless Son. I'm going to ignore Mr. Only Active at Doncaster in the spring, despite your confidence.
This is a great preview.
And as I say, I'm going to reluctantly side with the favourite, but I think your selection give it something to think about.
205 then is the sales race, and Zulu Chief obviously is the obvious one. I've obviously tipped up in this, so I'd like to come to you two to maybe develop the race or anything else you've seen in the race. What do you think?
Zulu Chief was fucking sick at York, wasn't it?
It was very impressive. Very, very impressive.
That couldn't keep that up. That was beat 3 furlongs out for me.
Well, no, look, that's why. Well, that's why that's why it's evens.
I thought Wednesday's falling in its hole,
Yeah. Oh no, no.
At the weights and everything. I just can't really oppose. I'm afraid.
What did you think at Dodds Runner though?
I think it's got every chance of a place, but I couldn't be confident at breaking that thing. Like that runs its race when it wins, doesn't it? And I haven't seen anything really to suggest it wouldn't run its race. When's it blown out Ascot in the Coventry? Everything blew out in the Coventry, didn't it? He did rear up before the start. Other than that, it's not really run a bad race, is it? Would you say?
There's Goodwood, but that was on Goodwood ground, wasn't it?
Yeah, you'd excuse anything, that couldn't you?
And since it's been tackling lightning quick ground,
it's made all the Newbury there.
Well, look at the form of that nursery. Zulu Chief wins the race. Starlust in second. Right? Starlust has since won a Group 3.
Room Service won the sales race.
Yeah, Room Service won the sales race. Zabriskie Point won its novice last time. It was a good novice as well. It won, and then bombed out in a group race.
Yeah, the fifth horse, won it.
Yeah. The fifth horse, Kita Kotai, that was beat narrowly in a nursery off 79 next time out. So, and that was beaten 5.5 lengths.
It's just solid, isn't it, really?
Yeah, look, I'm not trying. My selection, look, I just envisage. I think the pace will be really strong because Gina will go balls out, blast off, 100%. So
go balls out.
Well, wait, hey, no, that's offensive in this day and age.
Little Miss balls out.
Little Miss balls out. Right. Anyway, I think everyone gets his view on that anyway. Right, the last TV race at Newmarket is the Sun Chariot. I found this hard. I'll tell you why, because in Spiral, she's a very good filly and she's had a great career.
She's really inspired, is she?
But she does bomb out. This is the thing. She does do this, and it's one of them. If she runs a race, she'll win. That's it. That's your judgment in taking even money. If she runs her race, she will win that. But it's one of them fillies that she's just disappointing. I know people say, how can you like crib her at 7 from 11? But it's just some of her runs. I mean, everyone, even though at a slow pace, you can't forget that Falmouth, John, when she was second to Prosperous Voyage. I mean, she was just shit that day. And then
It was depressing, wasn't it?
yeah, and the bomb out behind Bayside Boy at the in
Last
the
year's
QE
Champions
two.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah, QE2. The things that you just don't forget. It's like, why did you run so shit then? Because she were coming off a break then as well. It weren't like she'd been over raced or had some hard races or whatever. They give her 62 days off from Deauville to,
There's definitely holes in her, isn't there?
it's just some reason she just runs shit now and again. But if she runs a race, she will win. Some people think even's a good price. It might be. Jack, do you agree?
Yeah, so for me, like you said, Lee, I think Inspiral is, the best horse in the race when she runs her race, but we don't often get that or don't always get it, as you said. And for me, I wouldn't want to hang my hat on her at even money. I think she'll drift a bit tomorrow, but the interesting one in here for me is Heredia. I really like the way she's come back to form this year. Obviously, showed a lot of promise last year. Won the Sandringham. Everyone thought she was going to be a world beater. Probably her over exuberant trainer the same. But no, she's come back to form this year. I thought her win last time out in the Atalanta was very good. Getting through the pack off a moderate pace and winning with a little bit in hand, I'd say. So she certainly deserved of her place in this company. And for me, almost twice the price of the French horse. I'd have her as the next best, so I'll be probably looking to play her in the place markets tomorrow as it stands.
Good stuff. Heredia for Jack. Prices in the places, probably on the exchanges, etc., etc. If you like a price, then that could be the one. Right, we move to Ascot. 4 to go, and we'll swiftly go through these. The 150 is the Rous. My view here, Emiratiana is terribly drawn. Would probably prefer quicker ground, but is a class act compared to these. The each way bet to nothing is surely Nymphadora. Stole 9, bolts out. Was disappointing that she couldn't hang on last time, but with all the sort of cards stacked in her favour, draw wise, bolts out. Jason Watson, hard drive. What more do you want? That was my take. Nymphadora, the solid each way call. Jack and John, where we're going here?
I'd struggle to say past Nymphadora as the alternative to the favourite. I suppose, technically, this course is tailor-made for Corker, but sometimes he's just too bad for words, isn't he?
The time figure last time was incredible.
It's not the worst place to miss the kick, is it? I guess that's what you're getting at, John.
I do believe that Carl Burt's got the best juice in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
Mr. Juice.
Mr. Mixologist.
Going to rewrite all that.
Prepare a cocktail like no one else.
Jacker, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Lee. There, I think Nymphadora is the interesting one. Very unlucky last time out, but course and distance should suit, conditions should suit, and I'd very much be against the favourite out of stall too. Really, I think he's too short.
And don't you think Emiratiana is possibly the worst named horse in training?
Agreed.
Well,
yeah,
because there can't be a person on this planet that doesn't assume that horse is a female.
Anna probably, I don't know what it means. What does it mean? I don't know. It's probably some Arabic.
God knows.
Fucking know. But this horse, wrong country anyway. If they'd have had this horse in the States,
oh yeah,
running round bends over 5.5 furlongs on firm ground,
they'd have been a lot happier.
He's had a terrible life over here, really, Kevin.
On that point, Lee, do you think this might be a prep run for Breeders' Cup? He ran very well in it last year, and yeah, given he's going to be overlooked, you might get a massive price for that. I don't know. I haven't got the market here, but
I don't know. Will he get in? What have you got to do something to get in? Because obviously, I don't know what the qualifying things are. I don't know if it's official ratings. I don't know how you get into these races because obviously
wins this race any more than 17 lengths, it's in.
I mean, he was only rated £1 above what he is now, before his second last year. So you'd think he'd get in if they wanted to, and they paid the Yanks enough.
Possibly. You want to back him over there at big prices if he gets in. Right, 225. It's the Cumberland Lodge.
Could
Obviously,
run him in the Fillies and Rous sprint and say he's self-identifying as a female. Couldn't go with that then.
Got no bollocks, so he
Well-
could do.
Well, yeah, it happens in human races. So, I mean, why not? Why are we being detrimental and not inclusive to the
Yeah, it
equine
should be
world?
gender fluid.
Gender fluid, yeah. Al Quareem in the Cumberland Lodge for me, as tough as tits. Actually, the toughest horse I've seen at time. Really does battle like a Trojan. And in here, you've got Israel that bombed out last time after pulling like Russell Brand. Al-Azi, Mr. Master. And Al-Azi obviously he can be soft at times to be taking 11.08. And I just thought with that getting weight from Al-Azi and Israel, fair play. So I thought that was the bet around 5-1. Thoughts, chaps?
I like one in here, but I like the horse. I just don't like what's happened to him. Like, so L'Astronome, I like my French stuff a bit, Lee. How's that ended up in the caring of Hugo Palmer? I mean, that was a pretty progressive horse last year. That's the equivalent of Kylian Mbappe ending up playing for fucking Swindon or something. It's bizarre that he's ended up there, but I thought there was promising signs. He had obviously a little spin round the local behind Al Kareem last time out, and for a first run on these shores, I thought that was positive, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him step on from that tomorrow.
Might be a case of Mr. Contraband. Move on from that, John.
A little bit interested to see how Little Miss runs her horses out of the class his horse got on Claymore. I mean, we've only seen them the once this year behind Hookham in the Brigadier Gerard, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, maybe this will put him spot on for next year's Brigadier Gerard.
Yeah, I like everything out that yard, as you all know. But he was a bleeder on that occasion, which
Wouldn't
bled.
we like to
Worrying.
see everything out of that yard and somewhere where they can place them?
Yeah,
Really.
no, they're
That
not
would
very
help
good at that.
enormously, wouldn't it?
And I'm not sure. He's very free going. I don't think he'll stay.
No,
I feel sorry for the owner, Mrs. Mary Slack, because she turned down millions for this horse on the advice of Jane. And I bet she wished she'd took it now. The 3 o'clock is the John Guest Bember. Jack has tipped in this. In fact,
I wish she took it and have nothing to do with it.
I know you feel poor Mrs. Slack.
I feel devastated for her.
Yeah. Anaf is Jack's selection. The only problem I've got with Anaf, he's right. I think that's the best horse in the race here. I really do. But lack of pace, I can't see any, John.
No, I can't, to be honest. I think possibly you could be just as well playing the draw here.
Gareth.
As much
he
as anything.
doesn't want to say it, does he?
Well,
He doesn't. He really doesn't.
I think you can maybe get away with a combination forecast, to be honest. The 3 highest drawn horses.
I think Anaf goes close, but I think it's going to need
I think
a
that's
bit
where
of luck.
it's at, to be honest. Them 3 near the fence.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Gareth will blast off. They've done it before with it.
Yeah.
They've been aggressive with it earlier. I've got a feeling they will, and I've also got a feeling. I know Matthew Taylor is also a good judge of a horse and everything else. So they might. Mick will probably say, "Look, they'll know there's no pace, and they'll probably they've done that. They've gunned that before, so they might even gun that. I'm not saying it might benefit Anaf, but but that's what they might do. If you're running 2 in the race, you don't want to have 2 start at the back, do you? So there you go. The 3:35 to finish is the Heritage Handicap. Me and Jack have already made our cases known. John, have you anything further to add on this?
Well, I would add that these races are pretty rotten, aren't they, overall? You get a bit sick of them this time of year. I really couldn't embellish on your terrific selections, to be honest. I think Fresh has every chance. I mean, Plum Draw comes here in reasonable niche, handles the track lovely. I mean, there's just nothing not to like, really. I'd be casting round trying to put something up against this one, really. I'm not one to cast around. Mr. Plays it conservative when he gets a chance. So.
Right, and on that note, we dedicate this show to the late and great Roger Hargreaves that provided a lot of great childhood memories. Died in 1988. We will resurrect his memory, I'm sure, on our racing podcast. Hope you enjoyed it, because we did, and we're back on Sunday talking more absolute rubbish. Me, John and Chris. Bye for now.